What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 2 of our sim through with our new transfers. And if you haven't watched the first episode, what we're doing here is going through the second season now, as we went through, picked all the major clubs around Europe, and including all of the Premier League, and did the transfers, made a custom database here with the transfers going into the new 2018-2019 season. So we kind of simmed our way through that, and if you haven't checked out the first video, check that one out. It's probably going to be the most accurate, considering now that teams can pick up and go ahead and make new transfers. So what we've got here is season number 2. And the only changes, of course, major changes that we need to look at from last season is Aston Villa, Leeds, and Wolves have come up. Fulham did not make it up, and neither did Cardiff. Cardiff I didn't expect to make it up out of the Championship. I expected Wolves, though, and Wolves did come up. I expected Fulham as well to come up. I thought those would finish 1-2, but it didn't work out that way. Wolves had to go through the playoffs, and Leeds came straight up, and Aston Villa came straight up, and Leeds looking like coming straight up in 2018-2019, so that's how it is going to look. But we're going to jump right on into it. We're going to take a look at the schedule here, the calendar, and take a look. What we're going to do is, considering this is the Euro League, Liverpool finished 5th or 6th last year, so that's how it's going to be. And we're going to sim our way to the end of October here, and then we're going to jump back into it and check up the progress of where everybody's at. So we'll jump right into it there. Alright guys, so here we are at the end of October. We're going to check out all the leagues. We're going to avoid Europe, mainly because I want to get all the way through the group stage. So at the end of December, we'll take a look at where Europe is, and we'll check it out from there. But we'll take a look at the Premier League to start. And here you see Manchester United and Tottenham at the top of the league. Tottenham winning it all last year, if I remember properly, and then Arsenal 1 point back. Stoke City up there. Liverpool down in 10th. Lots of draws for Liverpool. 6 out of their 9 games. 6 draws. That's an absurd number there. Everton down low. Villa and Bournemouth and Palace at the bottom here. Bournemouth had a really good year last year. Palace were 1 point ahead of relegation last year, so they're going to back down there again. West Ham and Manchester City here at 8th, 9th, and 10th. We're going to see how this stuff unfolds, considering last year how late pushes from a lot of teams happened, especially in Italy, as we remember. Inter Milan in 6th or 5th with 2 months to go, and finished in 1st place by 13 points, so there's a lot there. And here you can see a little bit of the Carabao Cup. Liverpool still in it, United just going out, Tottenham still in it, City still in it, and Leicester have a chance to still be in it there, and then a bunch of championship teams. Newcastle down there against Scunthorpe, so not too bad so far. And we'll take a look at the Champions League at a different time. We're going to go take a look and see where the other big leagues are at the moment. So we'll jump right over. We will skip England. We can take a look at the Championship before we go. We do just want to see Fulham at least get promoted before we go, and there's Fulham now, 33 points from a possible 39, doing rather well. Sheffield Wednesday, Sunderland, Huddersfield up there, who went down, of course. Cardiff still down in 9th. Anyone else? West Brom there in 13th, who went down. Swansea went down, and Huddersfield there, so 4, 5, and 13 for them. So we'll take a look now as we'll move forward and check out some other teams. Here's Nice are top the league. Last year they had a really good start to the season, and they were up there 1 point back after December, and then they were a couple points back, and then all of a sudden they fell off right there. So it's nice to see them back up there again. We'll see, as Paris and Monaco, they're 1 point of each other, and Marseille, they're the only team I don't see there. They are Lyon, who are 8 points back of 4th. Last year they were part of that top 4 and top 5 there. That went flying through the league pretty much, so we'll see how that goes. Bayern here at the top. Dortmund, who are in 13th, who won the league last year by a good margin. Only 8 points from 8 games, not like them after that. Bayern here at the top by 3 points. Leverkusen, Mönchengladbach, Schalke doing a lot better this year. I thought they would do good last year, but they only finished in 6th after a late push. Leipzig down in 9th, and Hoffenheim all the way down in 16th. We changed their team around a little bit too, with we'll see. Here Juventus at the top of the league by a point. Also have a game in hand on Inter and Napoli. Milan, Roma. That's how it looks. Lazio and Torino did well last year, finishing 7th and 8th. They're down a little bit. Fiorentina finishing 5th last year, off to a slower start this time around. We'll see if anybody can push. But Inter last year winning the league by 13 points after being in like 6th place when we stopped our March sim, and then they won the league heavy, and then Milan won it, came in 2nd, and then it was Juventus. Juventus were up like 6 points with maybe 10 games to go, and all of a sudden it just fell off for them, I guess, and Inter Milan looked to have won out or something like that, and it just went crazy there for Inter Milan, who won the league. So there are some surprises in this sort of sim, so we'll take a look, of course, as we go forward. But we're going to jump over to Spain now before we go ahead and sim forward a couple more months, and you can see Celtic running away with the Scottish League. And here we are back to normal stuff here. Real Madrid, who came from way back, it was Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid, 4th and 5th in March last time around, and finished 1 and 2. Barcelona in 2nd place. Sociedad this time around playing well in 3rd place, 1 point back. Then Sevilla and Atletico Madrid. Villarreal, who finished 3rd last year, down in 7th. Valencia doing a little bit better to start the season this year. And Bilbao down there. Valencia there I thought would play or get better. Last year they had a really torrid start to the season and kind of came toward a little bit toward the end, but we'll see what happens. We're going to jump to the first week of January here, and then we'll come back, and this time we'll be able to see the Champions League and other things of that nature, the group stages from the Champions League and the Europa League, and some finishing of the, getting close to finishing the Carabao Cup as well. So let's jump into it. We'll meet you there in a sec. Alrighty, here we go, everybody. We are back in January here, and the manager rating for Liverpool going up a little bit, so they must be moving up just a tad. I guess not. Down in 10th still. Arsenal will top the league now, level with Spurs, both on 43 points there. That'd be one heck of a derby late on in the season if those two were level. That'd be something else. Manchester United in 3rd, Chelsea in 4th, City in 9th, Liverpool in 10th. A win, though, for City or Liverpool would take it up to 5th, 6th, that area there. So not doing too bad for those two. Wolves up in 14th, Villa still bottom, and Villa look like going down already. Southampton and Everton in the bottom 3. Brighton and Palace and Bournemouth there, so not doing too bad. Leeds doing pretty well, newly promoted, and Burnley and Stoke doing well up toward the top there. Burnley especially trying to replicate what they did last season, getting some Europa League football. So let's also take a look at some of the Carabao Cup here. And here we are. Leicester beat out Liverpool, City beat out Southampton, and then it's Tottenham who beat out Brentford, and Hull beat out Newcastle. So we got Hull, Tottenham, City, and Leicester in the final 4 there. And then we're going to go ahead and take a look at the Champions League. Here we are. We'll take a look here at the groups. Manchester United and Sporting make it out. Marseille doing pretty disappointingly. A really good group stage for Manchester United. They're only conceding 4 and just the 1 draw. Juventus and Celtic beat up. Look at Besiktas and Real Madrid finishing with 5 points from 6 games. That is not like them as Celtic move forward and Juventus move forward there. Wow, Real Madrid right on out. Barcelona and Wolfsburg moving forward ahead of Monaco. Paris and Dortmund moving forward expectedly out of that one. Porto and Atletico Madrid. Ajax moving back. Bayern and Inter Villarreal disappointingly out for them. Vienna with 1 goal scored, 14 conceded, no points. Disappointing. Schalke and City move forward. Lyon going out. Some of the French teams not doing great here as Sevilla finished dead last in their group. That's a surprise as well. Spurs and Milan moving forward. And not too bad. We're going to take a look at, I believe the Europa League is next. Alright, we'll see how everyone did. Cologne and Feyenoord, Fulham in the Europa League thereafter. Oh, they won the FA Cup last time around. And they almost moved forward out of the group. Galatasaray and Alkmaar moving forward. Leipzig going out disappointingly. Galatasaray got 18 points out of that group. Very nicely done. Fenerbahce and Fiorentina moving forward. Chelsea and Saint Etienne moving forward, both on 12 points. Valencia, Copenhagen moving. Lokomotiv Moscow That's a pretty disappointing result for them. They have some good players at that club. Roma and Atletico, or Athletic Bilbao moving forward. Look at that. 12, 11, 10 there. Panathinaikos just missing out. And Ave taking a point off of Athletic Bilbao, it looks like. So, not too bad for them. Not too bad, I suppose. He's got to take the silver lining somewhere. Braga and Frankfurt moving forward. Leicester and Krasnodar moving forward. Basel disappointingly out, only with getting 4 points as well. Not very good. Salzburg and Espanyol beating out Nice there. Disappointing for Nice, who were top the French league last we looked after 10 games. That's disappointing from Nice to go right on out. Liverpool and Rosenborg through. Shakhtar going out here by 1 point. Liverpool 4-1-1, 2-2-2, 2-1-3. Tightly contested group. Napoli and Zenit moving forward. Napoli playing pretty well. They're only the one loss. Arsenal and Liège moving forward as well. And that is how that went. We're going to take a look at the rest of the big leagues here as things are starting to shape up nicely and we move down the stretch. I expect Fulham to still be up toward the top there. Let's take a look. And there they are, 3 points out of Swansea. West Brom have caught up. Looks like Fulham and Swansea are going to get automatically promoted. 9 points ahead for Swansea and 12 ahead for Fulham, ahead of West Brom in third place in the playoff places. What do we got down here? Hull down here. Huddersfield down in 14th. Must be disappointing for them so far. Ipswich, Blackburn down there. Not too bad. France, Paris, and Monaco have taken back the lead at the top. Nice fallen off just a tad. 1 point back of second, though, and only a win back of Paris. Lyon there. Marseille close. That's at the end, doing very well this year. And that's pretty much how I expect this to go. Normally those are the top 6. It tends to be that way for most of the time. Germany, Bayern up here ahead of, wow, look at the gap between first and third. 16 points and 9 points between Schalke and Wolfsburg there. That's a huge gap. Wolfsburg, Berlin, and Hamburg all on 27. Mönchengladbach there. Dortmund have caught back up just a little bit. Leverkusen way down. Leipzig way down. And Hoffenheim still in the bottom 3. Very disappointing from them. Italy here, a 1 point lead for Juve over Roma. And then a little bit of a gap there. Inter Milan 6 points back of Juventus. We're watching them to see if they'd come back. Bologna doing very well for themselves. And then there's a big old gap between 5 and 6. 6 points. Fiorentina kind of holding it a little bit. And Lazio, Milan have fallen all the way down to 9th, which is disappointing for them. And I'm disappointed a little bit right there with Sampdoria as well. Torino down in 12th. So things are starting to shape up a little bit. A couple of teams overdoing it. A couple of teams not fulfilling potential. Let's head over to Spain and see where everything is. There's Atletico Madrid have taken over just a little bit. 4 points ahead of Real Madrid and Sevilla. Sociedad still holding ground, and Barcelona in 5th. Valencia have caught themselves up. Villarreal not keeping up with the season they had last time around, down in 10th. But Valencia have caught back up just a bit. 4 points back of Barcelona there in 5th. And we'll see how that top 5 shapes out. Top 5, top 6. It was a little bit of a congested there, and it changed a lot quite toward the end of the season. So we'll see how everything goes. But we're going to sim, and what we did last time was sim halfway through March. Then we got April, May. So what we'll do is we'll sim halfway through March, and we'll see how that goes. And then we'll be right back as we get down toward the end of this episode here. Get a little bit down the stretch here. We're getting close. Alright guys, here we are mid-March, and we've only got one sim left after this. Manager rating down a little bit, and let's take a look at where we are sitting. Liverpool down here in 8th, a win outside of 6th. Stoke and Burnley still 5, 6, 7 for West Ham. Everything's still going, and Tottenham have once again pulled away a little bit, 5 points out of Arsenal, and the Manchester United and Chelsea sitting in below. But it looks like that is going to be the top 4 with a 9-point gap between Chelsea and Stoke. What else we got? Wolves and Everton still down there. Aston Villa are gone by the looks of it. Leeds doing well to stay up. Bournemouth, everybody else moving up just a little bit there. Bournemouth is really the cutoff there, 8 points ahead of the drop. And Liverpool and City have a little bit more to do to keep their season decent enough, if you want to call it that. By the way, what is that? Stoke City, their goal difference is 0 in 5th, which is decent enough, I suppose. Do what you have to do. FA Cup, last 4 here. Southampton, Manchester United, West Ham United, and Wolves are still in there. Wolves beating Watford and Chelsea. West Ham here beating Swansea and Hull. United beating Liverpool and Leicester. Then Southampton beating Bournemouth and Fulham. Carabao Cup, Tottenham had beat Leicester 2-0. Not too bad for them as well, getting themselves a trophy. Here we are in the Champions League, last 8. Paris, Manchester City, Manchester United, Atletico Madrid, Bayern, and Dortmund playing in the quarterfinal for the 2nd year in a row. And then Schalke, who are starting to live up to it just a little bit, and Barca to play each other there. Teams that go out, Inter, Porto, Juve are gone, Wolfsburg are gone, Sporting did well, Celtic, Milan are gone, and Tottenham are gone. So 2 from the Premier League, 1 from France, 3 from Germany, and 2 from Spain. As we remember, Real Madrid went out. Let's take a look at the Euro League quarterfinal. Here is Braga, Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, Villarreal, Anderlecht, Ajax, and I believe that's Krasnodar, if I remember properly. I'm not 100% sure on that, but not too bad of a Europa League either. Got some big old teams in there still in the Europa League, so not bad. We're going to take a look, setting up for a good end of the season. We've only got 1 sim to go, but we're going to take a look at the other major leagues first and see how the climax is going to work out. It seems the Premier League is mostly set, other than Champion. The top 4 are set to go. Aston Villa are getting relegated. Championship. Oh, look at Huddersfield. Where have they come from here? See, this is what we're talking about with some of these. As Huddersfield look like they might, I mean, as we remember, Fulham and I believe it was Swansea were the top 2, and they were 9 points ahead of 3rd. And here we are now with Huddersfield, who've caught all the way back up. They were like in 10th or 12th or wherever they were, way down there, and they've caught way back up, and now here they are in 1st place, 3 points ahead of Fulham and 9 ahead of Swansea. What a turnaround for them. Cardiff have made it up to 5th. West Brom have moved down a bit, down to 7th. Sunderland have moved way down. They were top 5 last time, if I remember properly, and they've moved way down as well. A crazy turn of events there. Here another bit of a turn, as Lyon and Marseille have moved up from 5th, 6th area, moved up to 2nd and 3rd. Monaco here back behind those 2. Saint Etienne are still in 5th, and Nice are falling down to 8th after being 1st after 10 games. They've fallen quite a bit, but Monaco fallen way behind. As you can see, Paris are 11 points ahead of Lyon. Hard to catch at that rate. Here, Leverkusen, who were way down there, have caught right up to Bayern. Dortmund as well, only 4 points back. Mönchengladbach in 5th. Wolfsburg in 6th. Schalke still in 6th. Leipzig down in 11th. Still having a tough year. Juventus, here they are in 1st. Fiorentina catching way back up, and you see these huge swings in some of these sims. We're only simming 2-3 months at a time, and they are massive, massive swings here. Fiorentina up to 2nd. They were a bit further down. Napoli here in 3rd. Inter caught up back to 4th. Milan, Roma have moved down quite a bit, down to 8th. And it's moving in a strange direction, some of these teams here, and it sets up for a good last ending. So we'll take a look at Spain before we go ahead and sim the last season, or the last bit. Atletico Madrid here, 6 points out of Real Madrid and a game in hand. Sociedad still in 3rd, doing well. Barcelona down to 6 as Valencia have moved ahead of them. How far back are they now? 3 points back of 4th. A bit of a drop for Barcelona there, and they have a little bit of a fight to make top 4 as Villarreal are down there in 10th, guys. But we're going to sim right to the end, and this will be the last time we do this, simming all the way to the end of the season. Champions Leagues, all sorts of different things we're going to take a look at. So let's jump into it. Alright, guys, here we are. The last sim is done with, and we're going to take a look at how everything finished. Liverpool down here in 11th. As we start off, Tottenham Premier League champions for the 2nd year in a row. United pass Arsenal up. Arsenal finish in third. Burnley finished 5 points back at Chelsea in fifth, and then City moved their way back up. Stoke fell off just a little bit. Everton not just escaped. It seemed 9 points there as Leeds United out of nowhere also fall down into the relegation zone, go down here. Crystal Palace were 1 point out last time around and fell off as well, but Liverpool down here in 11th. West Ham down in 12th, fell off quite a bit toward the end as well. So Tottenham with back-to-back wins here, Premier League wins. Manchester United beat West Ham in the FA Cup final, and Tottenham beat Leicester in the Carabao Cup final. That one we knew. Champions League, Bayern beat PSG, as Schalke beat Barca. Paris beat Manchester City. United losing out to Bayern after Bayern beat Dortmund again in the Champions League. So a win for Bayern Munich. EuroLeague, Arsenal beat Villarreal in the final. They beat Liverpool in the semi-final. Villarreal beating Ajax. So an English club there. We're going to move past that. And then we're going to go in and check some of the major leagues here, as we've only got a couple of leagues to check out. As remember last time around, huge swings in that late area here. So we're going to take a look. As you've already seen this season, pretty large swings in certain places. So we're going to see if there are any huge swings here toward the end. We simmed a month and a half, or 2 months pretty much, and we'll see. So let's take a look. Accidentally did the French one. Here we are. Fulham finished top, and look at Huddersfield all the way down to 9th. What happened? I feel like I've gone crazy here. I feel like I'm losing my mind just a little bit. Down to 9th. I could have swore they had 82 points last time, if I remember properly. I'd have to go back and check, but I'm almost positive they did. But they've fallen off, if anything, down to 9th here. I don't know if there's a little bit of a glitch in there, but Fulham and Swansea finished top 2, 101 points for Fulham, only 3 losses on the season. And West Brom there as well. In third place, Sunderland, Norwich, and Middlesbrough knock out the last playoff spots. Here, Paris win the league, Monaco in second, and then Nice work their way back up into third. Marseille and Lyon finishing 4th, 5th. Saint-Etienne moving down from their season-long stint at 5th and finishing 7th. So not too bad. It's always 1-2 with Paris and Monaco. Last year was just a little bit closer, 2 points than this time around. Bayern winning the league in the end by 8 points, and then Dortmund, Wolfsburg, Mönchengladbach, Schalke finishing in 5th. Leipzig moving their way back up to 6th, and Leverkusen falling all the way down to 7th, and Hoffenheim, who after December were in the bottom 3, have moved their way back up into 8th, so a good second half for them. Inter Milan win the league for the 2nd year in a row, finishing 1 point ahead of Juventus this time around. Fiorentina finishing 3rd. So it's disappointing for Napoli, Milan, and Roma. We're going to miss out on a Champions League spot. Lazio all the way down in 10th. Torino down in 12th. Those two having good years last year. No major swings outside of Huddersfield, but I don't know if that was a glitch. I could have swore it was 82 points that we saw them at. Maybe that was messed up a little bit, as Celtic beat Rangers by 3 points here to win the league. And Barcelona, who were down in 5th there, worked their way up and win the league by 5 points. Real Madrid in 2nd, Atletico Madrid in 3rd, Sevilla, Sociedad fall just outside Champions League spot. Valencia, who were 4th last time we checked, down to 8th. Villarreal with a disappointing year, finishing in 12th, guys. But that's probably going to be it. Basel here, look at that, a 23-point difference for Basel. Galatasaray winning their league. The Galaxy ahead here. So it looks like we're going to finish up, guys, but it's been a cool little experiment. I don't want to go any further into this, mainly because transfers will start getting a little bit out of hand. We're going to take a look at actually goal scorers and things of that nature. As Lukaku and Mata finished 2 out of the top 3, 25 goals for Lukaku, 18 for Kane. Goodmanson for Burnley had 15, and then Robbie Brady had 14 for Burnley as well. Nicely done here. Origi with 10 for Liverpool, Firmino with 9, Aguero with only 8. So not too bad. As you can see, some of the signings there. Carrasco at Arsenal. Anyone else? Any other signings? I don't think so. Nothing that sticks out. Hazard last year, who had 21 goals and 10 assists. We'll have to check on that. Look at Mato and Lukaku Scoring as well in the in the FA Cup, 10 assists for Mata and 15 goals, 9 assists and 25 goals for Lukaku. What a year he had. Eriksen and Kane with some assists in there. Shaqiri getting some. De Bruyne, of course. Baston. And then we'll move forward. Assists, Carabao Cup, goal scorers. We can get over there. Milner with a red card. It's Braithwaite who had 5, Grosicki, Jesus who won it, Kane had 3 for Tottenham who won it. So it is what it is, and he's had the most goals scored in the Champions League as well, Lukaku. James Rodriguez, Dybala is on that list. Assists, Aguero had 4. Mata with more assists, 3 for him. A good year for Lukaku and Juan Mata. Jesus, a really good year. And we'll take out the scores here. 10 for Firmino, who had more in the EuroLeague than he did in the Premier League. So a pretty decent experiment, guys. I kind of hope you enjoyed it. It's just some little thing I wanted to do. And I'm glad I did. It was kind of fun. And I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned as we got the Tottenham Career Mode coming very, very soon. The 20th will be the year, or be the date we get our first video out with EA Access, guys. So I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for more. And peace.